All right. Hopefully you can hear the crickets. John did not prepare a song this week, so I apologize to all the listeners that listen just because of the song. You might as well put your phone away, put your computer away, turn off the radio because he's not singing today. Tyler and I just finished wiping our tears, so you can wipe yours and we'll get going here. If you're here to get some locks, to put your money on and against Vegas to win some money, this is not the place to be. If you're here to get some fantasy football advice, look elsewhere. But if you're here to just shoot the shit for a little bit, welcome to episode 7 of Amateur Hour Podcast. We got our buddy Tyler Soman back. This guy's just fleecing the entire league of all their dues. So welcome back, Tyler. Congratulations on another win.
Thank you, David. Thank you. Shame that it had to happen this way, John. Just a shame.
Yeah, and Tyler let me in on a little secret, a little behind the scenes secret that he had some under the table wagers against some members of the league. So, John, do you care to comment?
Yeah, I put $20 with him. I personally thought that they wouldn't cover, but sometimes when I feel so strongly about something, as you know, the opposite happens. And so I thought maybe there's a chance. Maybe I make $20, and lo and behold, I got to watch it live, and I can tell you that it was not impressive. But I'm really proud of Aaron Rodgers. He looks, he's definitely playing worth the 35 or 40 million we pay him. I mean, he looks fabulous, and I know that everyone else played really well. The line looked awesome. The receivers were getting open. Defense, I mean, the Jets could not run the ball against the Packers. So yeah, it was just all around impressive and fun to watch live. So
Yeah, what was it actually like? Not only being there in the flesh to see them just get curb stomped, but also to have your week 6 profits from the Pick'em League just slip out of your greasy fingers at the end with the tiebreaker.
Yeah, looking back, I don't know why I thought that a Broncos game could go over 40 points, but I don't think it's ever going to. Maybe in like week 13, but that's a lesson I've learned. If Broncos ever playing again on the tiebreaker game, I will never pick it over 40 points. For some reason, they are so terrible at offense, but their defense is good enough that they bring every team they play against down with them. Like every team they play looks like dog shit against them offensively, and I don't know why. But I don't think I will tune into a single Broncos game, even if the Packers play them. I don't think I'm going to watch this year.
Well, they have a good defense besides that defensive back, that rookie that had like 5 pass interference penalties in his first career start. That's a rough first career start for that guy.
It is. But this guy, it's good to start out like that, and then all you can go is up. It's just like
I was quickly glancing through your picks specifically, and for those of you that aren't in the Pick'em League, the top 3 receive a payout, and John was 4th place this week, and he picked against his own lock of the week. He went with Carolina to cover the spread against the Rams.
Did
and
I?
He had the Rams as his lock of the week on the podcast. Do you care to comment on that, John?
That was a mental lapse. I definitely wanted the Rams. I was like, I looked at that and I'm like, ooh, my lock worked. I did not know I did that. Are you sure that's right? I don't think that's right.
Double check me, but I could have swore because I wanted to call you out on it. Did you pick your picks this week?
Dude, I sucked. Okay, I didn't even place. My Packers lost. Let's talk to Tyler. Let's have Tyler talk a little bit about what he liked from the Jets.
Before we talk about how great Tyler was, I want to give a special shout out to Jake Sepka. Back, where we used to know and love him, just forgetting to fill in the picks. So, quick shout out to Jake Sepka. Thanks for the free money this week, buddy. Okay, Tyler, congratulations on not only the win in the pick'em, but the win for the Jets. Let's kind of hear what's going through that head of yours. How do you feel going into week 7 of NFL season?
I mean, 4-2 doesn't sound earth-shattering to a lot of fan bases, but for the Jets, who have the longest playoff drought in the league, I have been watching since 2006. We've never hosted a playoff game in the time I've watched. Haven't been to the playoffs in 12 years. So 4-2 feels like we just won the Super Bowl. We got some young players, a lot of guys I really like. The drafts are starting to come together. Was kind of down on Saleh last time I was on here, but I'll give him credit. He's turned it around, and I think we have a good chance to get to 5-2 against the Denver on Sunday. So see what happens.
I agree. Yeah, Russell Wilson's banged up, which doesn't really matter because he sucks anyways. But I don't think you're going to get much better from his backup. And do you believe in the MILF Hunter?
I need to see more. I mean, first half Sunday was really bad. I know it was raining, whatever. Some of the play calls kind of make no sense. There were 2 3rd-and-1s that had him roll out to the left, and then he had to kind of throw against his body. Garrett Wilson doesn't run to the sticks on 3rd-and-1. I don't know how that happens. It just, some of the play calling just doesn't make sense. It picked up in the second half with that reverse trap to Breece Hall and the bomb to Davis, but play calling's kind of odd. We don't have a lot of easy throws. Still need to see more from him. Love the defense. Special teams is good. We can run the ball, but you need to see one of these games. They're not going to be 3-3 at halftime. You're going to need him to go out and put up 275 yards and a couple touchdowns, and I'm not sure how confident I am in that right now.
Yeah, I think the young players on the Jets, like Sauce Gardner, looked really good. Breece Hall, and that, is it Michael Carter is the other one? Yeah,
Yep.
that was the Packers always suck at defending the run, but they really stuck it to them. So you got to commend them for that, because the last time I saw a team do it that well was probably the 49ers. I don't know if it was the playoffs or a regular season, but
Kaepernick?
No, I think it was the NFC title game. That's the one I remember where the 49ers just ran the ball down their throat and they couldn't do anything. And that's what it felt like watching when because believe me, Tyler, when I saw this game on the calendar, I just thought, oh, that's a guaranteed win, but the Tide, I don't know what you thought, but the Tide definitely turned when they blocked that punt and returned it for a touchdown. That's what I thought.
Yeah, that was the play of the game for sure. Yeah, I mean, going into halftime, it's like you felt like the final score was going to be 6-3, but yeah, that was a big momentum shift. And then once the Packers are down double digits, you just never feel like they know how to get back into the game.
Not this year.
Yeah,
and I gotta say, as an outsider looking in, for the Jets being as young as they are to come into Lambeau Field, which is, I think, objectively one of the hardest places to play on the road in the NFL. That's pretty impressive that they went in there and pulled out the W. I think they played pretty well.
Yeah, I was screaming. I was trying to get in Zach Wilson's head, but he's got as cool as a cucumber in that pocket, Tyler. Just can't get to him mentally,
I couldn't imagine anything worse than 60,000 John Opheim screaming in my ear, trying to get in my head.
Yeah, I waited in line for 45 minutes to get chicken strips, cheese curds, and 2 beers. And then we were eating it out in the rain, but I tell you, because I was inebriated, it was one of the best $11 I've ever spent in my life, even though the Packers were down. But you're just slamming chicken strips.
Hold on, you got chicken strips, cheese curds, and 2 beers?
Yeah.
That was not $11.
No. The chicken strips are $11. I think all of that was. I think beers are like $12. So that was probably a $44 meal.
I was thinking the same thing, Tyler. I'm glad you said something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I think as a Jets fan, and I honestly, I couldn't be that mad because you guys have had it tough for so long. So I'll definitely be. If they make a playoff run, love to see them, knock out the Bills or the Chiefs. How can you hate them? How can you hate the New York Jets? I mean, you got to have something wrong with you if you hate the New York Jets, right? Dave, what are your perspectives on that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate the New York Jets. I think I disliked the New York Jets when they had Rex Ryan as a coach and Mark Sanchez as a quarterback. I think they were much more hateable then. I think they're pretty lovable now with Robert Saleh. He's kind of like an underdog story, I guess, where he's kind of just like a tough, hard-nosed guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the Jets, who are just kind of a young team, and they've drafted and built their team from scratch, and they've been through a lot of shit. When I think of the Jets, the first thing I think of, after thinking of Tyler Solman, is the scene from Big Daddy when they're at the sports bar, that old drunk guy, and then the little kid, what's his name? The Cole Sprouse or Dylan Sprouse, the goddamn Jets. You remember that scene? That's a classic. You need to watch
I'll
Big
watch
Daddy.
it.
Yeah,
I'll
you need to
watch it.
watch Big Daddy.
That's where the kid just shows up on his doorstep.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, but New York owns the Green Bay Packers. That's all I will say. The city of New York. So, yeah, really nice. Do you have your relationship report, Dave?
No, I don't have it, so I'm skipping it this week.
I don't have it either. I probably wouldn't have done well. So this is a good week to.
Let's just blow past this one. Let's just forget it. Forget it
Yep.
ever happened.
Pick'em results. We kind of went over. Soman. Also, I would like to commend you, Tyler. I don't know what sort of algorithms or what processes you're using to pick your games, but you are like 7 picks on the season ahead of the next closest team.
You're looking at the algorithm, dude. I mean,
7.
it's all right here, man.
David, you're actually second, so you're doing very well.
Yeah, this week was big for me, but
yeah,
Tyler's got it all figured out, man. He just seems like he just picks everything right. He knows what's going on. He almost has like some sort of crystal ball or something. I think we got to look into that.
I watch a lot of football. Okay, I don't give relationship reports. I watch a lot of football. Okay.
Well, since we're talking about that, what was your surprise game of the week? Let's not do the Jets and the Packers because we already talked about that.
Yeah, I figured you guys were going to cover some of the other ones, so I'll go with one that I didn't think you guys were going to talk about. I don't know what's going on with the Rams. I know they covered. I know they won by 14. They were down at halftime to PJ Walker.
Yeah.
Stafford throws a lot of picks. Allen Robinson doesn't get open. Cam Akers is now going to get traded. Like, there's just a lot of weird stuff going on. You feel like they're too good to let the Panthers hang around on them. At 3-3, it doesn't feel like that they're that good. I don't know. The NFC as a whole is pretty open, but I don't feel like they're that good.
Yeah.
John did have Carolina. I'm looking right now, by the way.
I did, yeah. So, but I was right. So I do apologize. I that was really a mental lapse. I must have forgotten. But yeah, I would agree with you. I think that especially the passing game, I don't know if it's Matt Stafford or if the receivers aren't getting open. I can't really tell. It's hard to tell because you can't see like the full field on these things. Like, do you get that feeling? Do you think it's more on Matt Stafford, or do you think it's more the Rams receivers not getting open?
I think it's
receiver. It's receiver. I mean, he only throws to Cooper Kupp, so there's no one else. It's just find him and throw him the ball.
I think it's a lot of the offensive line is a problem. I think Stafford knows he has minimal time. So when he drops back, the first and only thing he's looking at is Cooper Kupp. Mm-hmm. And he knows that Cooper Kupp can get separation. Now, if some of those other wide receivers had more time, I think that would help. They probably shouldn't have got rid of Van Jefferson. He was kind of a big factor for them last year. They had one guy who's now on the Lions. I'm blanking on his name, but he was a big piece to them too. But now that I think he drops back and the offensive line is not very good. So he knows he has minimal time. So he's looking for Cooper Kupp right away, maybe Higbee. But he's not looking at an Allen Robinson who's a slow developing route runner. He's not looking at some of those other guys. So I think they need to really just give him some time. But that's kind of something hard to fix in the middle of the season unless you go for a big trade.
Van Jefferson is injured, so he's coming back week 8.
I thought he was traded.
No.
I'm thinking of Josh Reynolds is the other guy in the Lions now.
Okay.
He was he hasn't been there I think for 2 or 3 years, but I know Jared Goff used to throw to him a lot. So I guess when you get rid of some of these weapons or some guys get hurt and your offensive line is just getting older and worse, and I know they lost. I don't know, all these names are hard. My brain feels clouded right now, but that I think it's like Hawthorne or something like that. He's a big white dude who's now he does like the Thursday night games, like at halftime and after the game.
Talking about Whitworth?
Yeah, Whitworth. Thank you. Yeah. I don't know what I said, but yeah, Whitworth. That's the guy that I was thinking of. Like he was their left tackle, old veteran, like could hold it down. He's gone. Like just kind of big changes with the Rams offensive line, and that kind of helps things tick.
Yeah, I agree. I think.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think a lot of these offensive problems that you're seeing, it all starts with the offensive line. If the quarterback doesn't have enough time, nothing develops, and it just all goes to hell in a handbasket in 2-3 seconds.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Kind of like you saw it a lot with the, you see it a lot with the Chargers so far. I think their offensive line has been really crippled, and it seems like Herbert just has no time, and he's rushing things, and it's kind of a recipe for disaster if the quarterback has no time. You see it with my Chicago Bears too. They're one of the worst offensive line in the league, and Fields is getting killed. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he actually hasn't done that bad. I think for what he's been given, I think fantasy football wise, he's produced pretty well. I was that game last night. I was really impressed with how many sacks there were, where it seems like guys were just completely unblocked. It happened on both sides. The one that sticks out to me was like it was third down and Russell Wilson. That guy got him like no one even touched him. He just ran straight at Russell Wilson. It was like in the third or fourth quarter and sacked him. I don't remember seeing that very often in the NFL. Like normally they'll call the audible and make someone pick that up, but that game there seemed to be a lot of guys just going straight through right at the quarterback untouched.
Yeah, and I don't want to make this a Denver Broncos podcast because it's boring enough as it is watching them. So I know no one wants to listen to them, but it's a weird thing to see the Melvin Gordon stuff develop. I don't know if they're going to trade him, or I was watching that game last night and I'm like, okay, Javonte Williams goes out. You're thinking Melvin Gordon's going to be the bell cow, and next thing you know, he's not even getting any carries. So that's kind of a weird development there. Kind of keep your eyes on that.
Yeah, can I ask you both? Would you pick up Latavius Murray or Kenyon Drake? I need a running back that I have to play this week.
I would pick up Kenyon Drake.
Not Murray. What do you think, Soman?
I mean, I'm trying to think. I mean, bulk of the carries, probably Drake. They're playing, Miami's playing who again? They're playing Steelers.
No, Browns, I think. Oh, no. No, it's, sorry.
No, the Broncos are playing
Drake's at the Baltimore Ravens. No.
Is he not on the Dolphins anymore? Am I behind on that? Who's he on?
No, Kenyon Drake kind of took over J.K. Dobbins as the lead back for the Ravens the past few weeks.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I was contemplating having take this for whatever it's worth, John. I was contemplating having Kenyon Drake as my big baller of the week this upcoming week. So
really,
yeah, my thing that helped me steer away from that was just his lack of volume. I think he had 10 carries this past week, but he had 10 carries for like 119 yards, touchdown, maybe a catch or two. But they're kind of steering away of J.K. Dobbins and going towards Kenyon Drake. So I think they play a pretty soft run defense this week. I forget who it is, but
Browns.
The Browns. Yeah, they've been pretty weak.
So Murray plays the Jets. That's the Broncos. Oh yeah, I forgot the Broncos play the Jets. So you don't like that matchup?
I don't love trusting a Broncos running back right now because I just mentioned with the Melvin Gordon stuff, and I think the Broncos are going to have no passing game. They're going to have no passing threat. So I think that the Jets can just kind of go all out against the run if they want to. And Latavius Murray's, he's getting old. So I just wouldn't trust him as much as I would trust like Kenyon Drake.
Okay. All right. That's good. Okay. So Tyler's surprise game of the week was the Rams looking atrocious against the Panthers. That's good. The one I would say, for me, I was surprised the Falcons beat down on the 49ers. I guess I did not see that one coming. I don't. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You should always see it coming with Marcus Mariota.
And he looked pretty good, didn't he? I mean, he had a decent stat line. Didn't really have any turnovers.
25 fantasy points. I benched him.
Wow. You benched him.
I think he had 2 rushing touchdowns. That helps.
Yeah, that's pretty, because I thought, to me, when I look at the 49ers, I think they have a really good defense. If I have a running back playing them, I'm not going to play them against the 49ers. And so to put up 28 on them and beat them by 2 touchdowns, I got to tip my cap to the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, I got a couple surprises of the week, I would say. I don't want to pick, obviously, my lock of the week, which is the Buccaneers. That's obviously a huge surprise for me, and I think everybody. But one thing I'm looking at, too, the Patriots. I had the Patriots covering plus 2.5 at the Browns. And if you listen to the podcast with Nick Diltz and Dan, I think it's called Everyone Hates a Commissioner. Listen to that one. I'm on there for week 6. I picked the Patriots as the underdog to win outright, but I did not expect them to just smoke the Browns 38
Shit
to
on 'em.
15.
Yeah.
Bailey Zappi has been pretty impressive, so I would say that was a pretty surprising game for me. And then I just obviously have to say the Bears game. I had a lot of high hopes for the Bears going into that Thursday night game against the Commanders, and they really let me down. They were close. I mean, right at the end, they missed it by like an inch. If he catches the ball right away, he's in the end zone. They had 3 red zone appearances. They're 0 for 3 in the red zone, so tough to win games like that. But I was pretty surprised by that game, I guess.
Yeah, that was a kind of a lot of jokes on Twitter because everyone thought that you couldn't get any worse than the Broncos and the Colts playing on Thursday night, and then the Commanders and Bears came up next on the schedule, and
I
they
think
just scored less points.
I think the Bears game was more exciting.
That was a brutal loss, though, as a Bears
Yeah,
fan.
it was.
That's like, yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, you look at the schedule at the beginning of the year, you circle the ones that you feel great about. Commanders is one you circle. And to lose that one is tough going forward. I think that they have a lot of soul searching to do in the Chicago organization. I think, this year might just be almost a tank year at this point. It's been a rough first few weeks for the Bears. They can't seem to put an offensive line out there that can be healthy to protect Justin Fields. Got a couple injuries there. They have the worst wide receiver core I've ever seen on an NFL team in my entire life. Besides Darnell Mooney, they're absolutely atrocious. They waived Amir Smith-Marset, thank God. Velus Jones is a nightmare to watch out there. He muffed another punt, and that's just a huge momentum shift. The Commanders wouldn't have scored a touchdown if it wasn't for him muffing that punt. So it just you go back to the days when we had Devin Hester returning kicks and punts where every time he was out there, I truly believed in my heart that he could take that back for a touchdown. And now I'm sitting here watching Bears games wondering if they're going to catch the ball. And that's not a good feeling. It makes you feel sick.
Mhm.
The defense played well. I think the defense keeps us in a lot of games so far, and we don't have a ton of big name guys on defense. So I think I've been pleased with that. I think Eberflus brings a good defensive mind, which helps, but the offense has been pitiful.
So, would you be happy if the Jets would sign Carson Wentz?
No, we have no use for him.
What about would you
I literally rather have Platt Flacco be our backup than Wentz, probably. Yeah, it's close. I don't know. As a backup purely, though, there's no
would
way.
take Carson Wentz as a backup quarterback?
Carson Wentz sucks.
As a backup, but I mean, as a backup, sure.
Do you would prefer Zach Wilson over Carson Wentz starting for sure?
Yeah, no shit.
I better, because if
Would you rather have Justin Fields or Zach Wilson?
I don't think it's as much of a slam dunk as you think it is. I'll take Zach, but need to see more.
Yeah, I will. I agree. I mean, he didn't F the game up, right? I mean, he didn't he did his thing. It felt like when they needed like a 3rd and 5, he would get it done. When they played the last week.
Yeah, his stats aren't good, but at least he's been his best when you needed it. Against Pittsburgh, down 20-10 in the 4th quarter with like 8 minutes left, put together a touchdown drive. Then we got the ball back, got another touchdown drive to win 24-20. That was really impressive.
Mm-hmm.
He was good against Miami, not great. I understand it was raining. You were there. It looked like it was raining pretty hard. But
it was.
I don't know. I don't know if it's him. I don't know if it's the play calling. It just doesn't look smooth. It doesn't look easy. Even like that Corey Davis bomb, like that probably should be a touchdown. Kind of underthrew that one. Yeah. There's going to be a game where you need him to do more than throw for 100 yards. And that's where you'll find out where he's at.
Yeah.
His season's still really young too. I mean, he's only played a handful of games, right? So I think whenever you look at a team like the Jets who go from from a quarterback like Joe Flacco filling in for the first few weeks and then go to Zach Wilson. They're like totally different skill set, obviously. So the offense kind of has to evolve and change with Zach Wilson stepping back in there. So I think there's gonna be a little bit of growing pains, but to get through, the last couple weeks that the Jets have with those growing pains is got to make you feel pretty good as a Jets fan.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, we're winning, and I'll give Zach credit for that. Like understanding that you can't make the big mistake when your defense is playing well, special teams was good, run game's good. Okay, just don't make the big mistake, and not every win's going to be the same. But again, we're not going to win every game like we did on Sunday, so need to see a little more consistency. But it's nice that he's 3-0. But
with
yeah.
the Broncos, if they can put up 20 points, they're going to win. That's all he's got to do.
Yeah, that is true. I trust our defense, especially against their offense. I think our corners will lock them down. But Broncos defense is good, so I don't know. Gonna have to find a way to create some get creative again.
I think I'll be watching that on the Red Zone. I don't think I'll be watching the full game, but I'll catch the highlights. I promise.
I was watching the Packers game with a couple of at least the first half with a couple friends that we met at Drake, and they're Packers fans. And my buddy said it looks like the Jets defensive line, at least, or defensive line and linebackers did like cocaine before the game. They were just like so jacked up and revved up for that game, and it helped them just kind of put pressure on Rodgers and look like they were just really out there to get the win when the Packers came out a little flat. I think everyone, including inside the Green Bay organization, thought that they were going to win that, and they kind of just went out and thought they could roll the balls out and win. So shout out to the Jets for lighting the fire up their own ass that game.
Were you traveling this weekend, Dave?
No.
Oh, you were in Omaha watching the game.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, so the top 3 scorers of the week for fantasy. Any guesses?
Stephon Diggs.
Number 3.
Joe Burrow.
Number 1.
Josh Allen.
Number 8. Someone?
What about?
Wait, someone gets a guess for the win?
Not Breece Hall.
Nope.
Eckler.
Next one.
Eckler played well.
Good guess.
Nope.
All right, just tell us.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Jamar Chase 2nd. Tyreek Hill 4th. Brandon Ayuk 5th. And then a guy that I started, Deion Jackson, took over for Jonathan Taylor, and I think he caught 10 passes because Matt Ryan was just dinking and dunking it to him all game. So
the whole Brandon Ayuk thing pisses me off. I have Deebo Samuel in 3 different leagues, and I have George Kittle, and he's just passing it to Brandon Ayuk.
I've heard of this Brandon Ayuk bandwagon thing at the beginning of the season. Like, I think a lot of so-called experts had him as a breakout candidate. But this was his only good game. I mean, he's kind of been shit the rest of the season, so I don't think you should feel too bad.
I know, but that game specifically.
Oh, that one upset you. Okay, well,
yeah.
Next week, buddy. Was that gonna be week 7? Yeah, week 7.
Yep.
Do
you do fantasy football, Soman?
Yeah, I'm in 2 leagues. I'm in one with work and then a family league. So I'm 3-3 in one, and I think I'm 6-0 in the other. So
damn, just dominant. Everything you touch, football related, like Midas.
Yeah, man. It's been a good few weeks. Eckler got I was down 2 points and had Eckler left. Oh, and man. Then their last drive in regulation gave me the win, so I ended up winning by 2 points. So
yeah, he looks good. He was a good. Was he your first round draft pick?
Yep.
He started off slow, but he's been catching a shitload of passes every game.
Yep. Yeah, him, and I have Lamar, so those 2.
Dave, why does shit, I forgot his name. Who's the guy for the Chargers, the quarterback? I'm sorry.
Justin Herbert.
Why doesn't he pass it to Mike Williams more?
Well, he had Patrick Surtain kind of shadowing him, and must have had good coverage on him all game. I don't know. I don't think every time it seemed like Herbert had no time to look, and Mike Williams doesn't really run a lot of quick routes necessarily. He's kind of like an Allen Robinson type guy, or he's more so get him on the boundary, throw him a jump ball, like those kind of situations where Herbert just must not have wanted to take those risks today or yesterday.
He's got Mike Williams has almost 6 inches on Patrick Surtain.
I mean, it's much more complicated than just like throwing the ball up into the air. They do have Keenan Allen coming back this week, or at least he should.
Yeah.
Which is good because he's been out. Keenan Allen, unfortunately, is made of glass. He's got to get out there and play a higher percentage of games. He's one of the best. I think one of the top like 5 receivers in the NFL when he's healthy.
Wow.
As far as route running and hands and speed and quickness. Just watch his highlights if you're ever bored. Keenan Allen highlights because he's elite. I would say he's an elite receiver. Hopefully he'll come back. I think that's going to help the Chargers a lot if he does. Having the Twin Towers, Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, that'll help.
Yeah, I agree. And then I apologize for disrespecting Justin Herbert. He found a way to get it done.
Hey, a win's a win, man.
Yeah, I agree. How are you doing in fantasy?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking.
I mean, do you have a winning league?
I'm in 3 different leagues. Yeah. I have a winning record in all 3.
Damn, I'm 2-4. So.
In your dynasty league?
Mm-hmm. So it's going to be a long life.
Well, you're in it for the long. You're in it for the long haul in dynasty leagues.
Yeah, I guess. That's one last thing I wanted to ask you, Dave, that came to my mind. If the Bears get, like, let's say the top 3 draft pick, and because there's supposed to be some really highly touted quarterbacks coming out of this class, right?
No.
You would not?
No, I don't want them.
Okay.
I believe in Justin Fields.
Okay.
They need to put the pieces around Justin Fields before moving on from Justin Fields.
Okay.
If you put the pieces around him and he still can't produce, then move on. But if you're just going to keep plugging in a new quarterback without fixing all the other issues, it just makes no sense.
So how many years does Justin Fields get?
I would give him, what's a rookie contract now? 3, 4 years? 5? I would be comfortable giving Justin Fields like 5 or 6 years.
So the year is 2025, and you're still watching Justin Fields run around and get chased all over the field, and you're happy about that? You're smiling?
It's not his fault though. If he's running around getting chased, whose fault is that? That means we spent 5 years not putting an offensive line around our franchise quarterback. That means there's bigger issues at hand. But you know what? We have a new GM this year, Ryan Poles. We have a brand new head coach. We got basically a first-year starter in Justin Fields. Yeah. Do I feel great about how the Bears season is going so far? Hell no. But do I feel good about the future of the Bears franchise? Yes, I do. I do feel good. We have the most cap space in the entire league next year. So we're going to hopefully sign some free agents. We're going to have an early draft pick, as you can see, because we blow. So I'm hoping that we pick an offensive lineman. Unless there's like a clear-cut like stud wide receiver, then I would take him. But mostly I'm leaning towards offensive line. We'll see what happens. But this year, it's looking like a wash. But I'm not ready to give up on Fields yet.
No, I'm glad. I like him. I just like to test the waters with you, see where you're at.
And he did, he watched that Thursday game and you look at the score and you're not impressed, but he did a lot. He did a lot. He kept them in that game. He had that long rush, towards the end of the game. What really bothered me about that game for Fields was that one throw in the red zone when they had that great play and he overthrew that tight end wide open in the end zone. That was the biggest mistake of Fields' game. But other than that, I think most of the loss was on other guys.
Would you say he left it all on the field?
I think he left it all on the field.
Okay.
That's all you can ask for.
The Jets and the Bears play at the end of November. So, if you win that week, then we can come on and talk, and you can shit on David because you already got me, boy. You got me good.
Yeah, I don't know. David might be rooting for the Jets with me at that late in the season. So we'll see.
Because he wants
both right now. Yeah.
He wants the tank. He's sitting there. Tank.
Yeah. I'll give it till week. I'll say week 12. See how the Bears are doing by week 12. If it's looking like we're gonna be a top 5 pick, I'm going for the tank.
Let's do a quick little segment. We'll talk about your team's next game and how you're feeling about it. Soman, we'll start with you. The Jets face the Broncos at 3:05 p.m. on Sunday.
Yeah, Vegas has us as underdogs. I don't really see why. We are on the road. We're gonna have to find ways to score, but we should have no problem on defense. Pretty confident. I'll say 7 out of 10.
What's that?
7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. Okay. David, who do the Bears play? That one I did
They're
not look.
Monday Night Football at New England. Bears plus 7.5. Now, if you're still listening to the podcast at this point, we're about 45 minutes in. I want you to go immediately to the bank. I want you to take out every last cent that you have.
Oh my God.
I want you to drive to Las Vegas, and I want you to hammer New England minus 7.5. If I were a man that didn't love the Chicago Bears, that would be my lock of the week. I can't do it morally, but Bears on primetime is like walking through a haunted house. The Bears are god-awful on primetime games, going back-to-back primetime games and going to New England, who couldn't be hotter. And trying to play them right now is a complete disaster for the Bears.
I'll just
So-
throw a disclaimer. Calvin Ridley, he's not talking to you. So if you're listening,
Calvin, put every last cent that you have on Patriots minus 7.5. You're already suspended. What's the worst that'll happen?
Yeah. So you must be feeling less than a 5 out of 10 about the Bears coming out of there with a win.
Yeah, going into Monday Night Football, I'm at about a 4 out of 10.
Okay. You're still going to tune in though.
I'll tune in, of course. I'll watch every Bears game, even if it's. I've been watching painful Bears games for the past 10 years, John. It's nothing new.
I'm going to watch it. I really hope this week, Tyler, that the Jets just absolutely take a big shit on the Broncos. Every Broncos game has been close. I hope it is like 64-3. And I hope that they just get laughed out of the fucking building because they deserve
yeah,
it.
I want a body, dude. Absolutely.
Just freaking.
What makes you think that's going to happen if they've had every game close? What makes you think they're going to kill them?
I think that they did it to the Packers. It's boosted their confidence. They're going into higher elevation so Zach Wilson can get a little more air under the ball when he throws it, lead his receivers a little more. And I just think it's going to be hard to stop him. And you're going to see, I think that thus far the Broncos have gotten lucky. I think the Jets are really going to take a big shit on them. I hope they do at least. Packers are playing the Commanders, and I am feeling a 3 out of 10. And
Wow.
I don't know how it's going to happen, but I'm feeling deep in my soul that they will find a way to piss it down their leg.
Did you know that Carson Wentz is out?
Yes. That's what makes me more nervous, actually.
I would be more nervous too.
It's Taylor Heineke's coming out party.
I like Taylor Heineke, actually.
Yeah, I know. He's going to just torch him. And then they have that Brian Robinson and
Dude, let's talk about that for a second. I hate Brian Robinson.
He's the guy that got shot?
I'm sick and tired of hearing about him getting shot in the leg. I have Antonio Gibson in 2 leagues, and now they're giving it to this guy that's a Wounded Warrior project when I need them to give it to Antonio Gibson. So when I see them giving it to Brian Robinson, they rushed him back. It's not safe for his overall health. I'm thinking of Brian Robinson long term. I'm thinking about his career, his family. You got to take care of the guy. Maybe just sit him for the rest of the year. Be safe. Sit him out. Be safe. Give it to Antonio Gibson.
Yeah. And then he did have that he played that 50 Cent song when he ran out into the stadium, which is pretty cool.
Many Men, yeah.
Many Men, yeah. Wish death upon me.
Wasn't that the song that he made after he got shot?
Yeah. Did you know that 50 Cent got shot point blank like 7 or 8 times?
Yeah.
Dude, isn't that crazy?
It's like a super well-known fact about 50 Cent.
Yeah, well, I didn't know it until recently. Did you know that, Stoneman?
I didn't, but I did know the story of him. So he had like a mansion in Connecticut, and apparently one of his guys told him like, "Hey, like your house was robbed or whatever," and he's like, "Oh, I thought I sold it." Like, didn't even know he still owned it. It was like this 50,000 square foot mansion with like a club in it and like a helicopter pad and like all these things.
He had no idea he owned it.
It's a real story. Like, I'll find the article. It's hilarious.
Yeah, you text that
4
to us.
years ago.
Put it in the group. The group
All
chat.
right, I'll find it.
All right. Okay, so who is your big baller of the week?
Well, we're going to talk about last week's big ballers of the week.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. How did we do? How did Jenna do?
Jenna did not very good. Jenna had Eric Saubert, so
Okay.
he struggled, didn't do much. You had Kenneth Walker, good week.
Did he?
Nice.
I had Ramondre Stevenson, great week.
Oh yeah, good week. Yeah.
So my big baller for this upcoming week, we talked about it. We hinted a little bit at one guy I was looking at on my radar is Kenyon Drake, but I'm going to go with Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup hasn't done much all year since coming back from injury, but I feel good about him this week against a pretty weak Detroit Lions defense. And Dak Prescott might be back. He loves Michael Gallup. So I'm going Michael Gallup, and it looks like Tyler's scrambling to find somebody else.
Dude, that's who I literally have it written down right here, Michael Gallup. This is unreal. Now I got to find somebody.
I might try to trade for him this week. I think if you too think he's going to be good, I mean, what are the odds?
I literally have it written down.
You're in a dynasty league. Why would you trade because me and Tyler Soman have as our big baller for week 7 of 2022 NFL season?
Dude, I need to win badly, man. 2-4.
No, you don't. You're in there for the long haul.
Okay. You're right. I got to have the long game. Okay, I'll go. I'm taking Rondale Moore. He is the wide receiver at the Arizona Cardinals. They're getting DeAndre Hopkins back. They lost Hollywood Brown to injury, and they traded for Robbie Anderson. So there's a lot of guys that are just plugging in. Rondale Moore has been there. Him and Zach Ertz are going to get a lot of targets because they've been working more with Kyler Murray, and I think that Rondale Moore goes for at least 20 points this week.
I like that pick.
Thanks. I thought about it, too, for a pretty long time.
All right, I'll go way under the radar here. Sunday Night Football. I'm going to go with Pat Freiermuth.
Whoa, the Muth.
Yes. Why not? I had Gallup written down. He was taken, but Steelers got to throw the ball to somebody, and if it's Pickett or Trubisky, they'll probably prefer safe throws. Pat Freiermuth, give me 6 catches for 52 yards and a touchdown from him.
From the Muth. And I will say this year, first off, all over the board, I think I just saw a stat that like the average scoring in fantasy this year is 20% less than an average year. Like I think offenses just suck this year all around the league. And if a tight end gets you 10 points, you're freaking ecstatic in fantasy football this year. I mean, right? Like outside of Mark Andrews and Travis Kelce, I don't know if there's really anyone else that anyone wants on a consistent basis.
As of this morning at 11:30 a.m., Mike Tomlin said Pat Freiermuth remains in concussion protocol.
Oh no!
But he's on track to increase he's on track to increase his workload.
We're pulling for you, Pat. Get out of the protocols, man. What do they have him do? Puzzles or what do they? How do they get him out of that?
I don't know. Ask the Dolphins.
Okay.
Yikes.
That's too soon, dude. Okay. Lock of the weeks.
All right, lock of the week from week 6. I had Buccaneers -7.5 at Steelers. That was a big loss there. That was absolutely not a lock. After the Thursday night game, so from noon until the night game on Sunday, I was 10-1. My one loss was my lock of the week, the Buccaneers. So, real shame. And I'm 0 for 7 the last 7 primetime games. So, yikes. And then we had John with the Rams -10.5 versus Carolina, and he took Carolina in the pick'em. So he went reverse psychology on the show. I called him out.
No,
and then he ended up picking the Panthers. So.
Because you reversed my brain. You got my brain all scrambled because that's what you just got to let me say my pick regardless of what my thought process is.
So we gave him Rams. He got that. I'll give him the win with another asterisk. And then our special guest from last week, she had Bengals -1.5 at New Orleans, which was a W. They covered. So,
what's the standings?
I'm 3-3 on the year. John is 4-2 with an asterisk, and the guest is 2-3.
Nice. What do you got this week, boys?
Since I stole Tyler's big ball of the week, I'll let him go first for the.
Come on, Tyler, give us a goodie.
Yeah, John, we're all about integrity here at the Amateur Hour podcast. We got to stick with our picks, John. I looked through the list and I really tried really hard to find something I really liked, and it was really hard. I'm going Falcons +5.5 at Cincinnati. I have some notes here. Falcons are 6-0 against the spread, so Vegas is undervaluing them. They have losses of 1 point and 4 points. He's wearing the Mariota jersey. I don't think the Bengals are an amazing team. They made the Super Bowl, but they seem too inconsistent. They're at home, but 5.5. Weird number. I'll say Bengals win 23-20. Falcons cover.
Nice.
Love it. John?
I'm gonna go with the New Orleans Saints. I think Kyler Murray looks like trash.
You're such an idiot. You're an idiot.
New Orleans Saints, they're Thursday night, they're underdogs. Listen to me, Dave. They may get Teddy. No, not Teddy Bridgewater. Who is it? Jameis Winston might come back. Chris Olave's through concussion protocol. Alvin Kamara is going to feast. Kyler Murray is not going to be in sync with his receivers. I think it's going to be a tight game, and I think the Cardinals will piss it away at the end.
Wait, who is your lock of the week, Opine? Can you remind me?
This week?
Mm-hmm.
The Saints.
No. The big baller fantasy guy of the week.
Oh, big baller was
I think Rondale Moore's injured too.
Rondale Moore is?
Yeah, who's Kyler going to get in sync with? You said he's just not going to get in sync with anybody.
He's going to get in sync with Rondale, okay?
We got to keep integrity on the Amateur Hour podcast,
John has no integrity. It was gone week 1 of the podcast, and he pisses more of it away every single episode.
Put me down for the Saints.
All right, Saints plus 1.5. My lock of the week. This is a kind of a crazy one, but I agree with Tyler. I looked at the slate, trying to find something that I loved. Usually 1 or 2 games jumps out at me. Nothing this week. But one game that I think could happen. I'm going Raiders minus 6.5 versus Houston. That's a tough one. Houston's been really scrappy, even against the spread, but both teams are coming off a bye week. So originally I was like, oh, Raiders coming off a bye. I love that. Houston's coming off a bye too. It's at Las Vegas. Those fans are nuts. They're going to bring the energy. And I think the Raiders need to really wake up if they want to make a run to their playoffs. And this is a week to do it. So I'm going towards the Raiders minus 6.5 at home this week. I think they win by 7 and cover.
Breaking: the Raiders will not make the playoffs. Is Devontae Adams even playing, or is he going to be sitting in jail?
He's not going to be sitting in jail. Well,
I guess
that's something I want to discuss too. You know, what world do we live in where these guys are? We look at Calvin Ridley, he gambles on sports and he's out for a year. You look at Devontae Adams, he's getting criminal charges pressed against him for pushing some scumbag in the Chiefs stadium. Then you got these guys that had domestic violence and use steroids, and they're out like 2 games. It's like you guys got, yeah. So
I agree, but he still shoved the guy. I mean, like, you don't think there's gonna be any repercussions if you just? I don't walk around just shoving people on the street.
Well, the guy got in his way. I mean, I can't blame him for shoving him. But no, here's the thing. I think that even if he does get penalized, it won't be like we would have already heard about it. Don't you think? Like, they went on a bye. It's been 2 weeks since it happened. I think like whatever suspension he would have had, it would have happened. So I could be wrong. You know, if Devontae Adams gets suspended, I don't love this game as much. So TBD on that. But with Devontae Adams in the game, I'm going Raiders minus 6.5.
Love it. Hey, love the game.
Always.
Love it. Anything else to add? Any last minute thoughts on this upcoming week, or someone you have any tips for the rest of us that can't seem to keep up?
Nothing that he wants to give away.
Yeah.
You pick with your heart, or
I mean, you can see the picks. They're on there. I honestly pick all the games in 2 or 3 minutes tops. It's just first, whatever my first instinct is, I just roll with it.
Is it your heart or your brain though that you go with?
Or your Johnson?
Usually, it's a team effort, John. It's team effort.
Triple threat, baby. So brain, heart, or Johnson.
He's got one of those like I picture those 3-headed dogs from Harry Potter or whatever, you know.
Cerberus, yeah.
One head is Soman's brain, one head is Soman's heart, and one is his Johnson. Thinking real hard to get the number 1 place in the pick'em so far.
Yeah, good work though, Soman. Thanks for coming on again. You're already in the profit, so I think you have profited $60 6 weeks in. Third of the way through, so the future is certainly bright. If you keep this up, you might be able to retire off of the pick'em every year.
Yeah, and every time the Jets play the Packers, I'll make an extra $20. So that's good.
Hey, did you bet with Dan?
I did. I'll let him speak to that.
How much did you guys bet on that?
25.
Okay. God, you made a lot of money this
Yeah,
week.
Packer fans were real confident going into that one. So go back and listen to that podcast I was on. Everyone Hates the Commissioner. 2 Packer fans, both very confident.
Mhm.
Episode 6 of Amateur Hour, John, very confident. So rough one for the Packers, rough one for the Bears. But hey, we expected it as Bears fans. You guys didn't, so suck it.
Yeah, it hurts more. It hurts more when you don't expect it. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, thank you guys.
What do you have to comment? Do you have real quick before we end it? Do you have a comment on your first Packers game being a loss for the Packers? Are you bad juju?
Yeah, it's possible. You can't rule it out, but I will say from here on up, because I think we're selling the Cowboys just because they're like stupid amounts of money. They're like $450, but we're going to the Rams, Vikings, Lions, and I'm hoping deep down that they will not lose by 17. Those games. I hope that, even if they lose by a touchdown, it'll be a better game for me than losing by 17 to the Jets.
Yeah, well, good luck with that. All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening to Amateur Hour Podcast. Again, we appreciate the loyal listeners that listen every week. This is episode 7. We're looking forward to week 7 in NFL football. Thanks for coming on, Tyler.
Thanks, Tyler.
Yep.